It's dark. No.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores,
The stores,
fresh air.
Times Square,
You are my wife.
goodbye city life.
Green Acres, we are there.
You have just unlocked the door to the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound and of sight. You are moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of offense and defense. You have just crossed over into the Irish Bill Sports Zone. Well, good evening and welcome to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. I'm Irish Bill with the winless one, Seminole Bob.
Really?
You know what?
You're going there.
Already.
You're going there. I've never liked you.
The last 5 years you haven't liked me.
No, I love you. Love you like a brother.
Anyways,
love
this
you
is
like a brother.
Buffalo
Love you like
Wild
a
Wings
brother.
Coaches Show. This week 4, week 5 of the high school football season coming up. Navarre will be playing host to Milton. Usually would say that's a district game, Bob, but not this year, as Milton has dropped down in classification to 5A,
Yep.
and Navarre stayed in at 6A. And so it will be just a battle of Santa Rosa County foes. Say that fast.
What did we used to
5
say?
times.
Something about 87, the Battle of 87, the War on 87.
No. That was the war on I-4 played last week.
Oh, yeah. What did we mentioned this last year. Anyway, we play Coach Garrett Bagley's alma mater.
So wouldn't that be fitting if Coach Bagley got his first win as a Raiders head coach against his alma mater?
Yeah, both teams come in, struggle, as Joe Namath said on the sidelines, struggling.
Stretch
And-
that out.
Yeah,
Lengthy.
yeah. I could kiss you, but I won't say that to you.
Right.
So for the Raiders, it's homecoming. And
It's the last homecoming for the seniors.
could be. I don't know.
Well, high school, you're going to have to graduate. So they are going to be moving on.
I say, yeah, the seniors' last homecoming.
Yes.
I thought you said the last homecoming of the season. I'm going.
No,
Well,
for the seniors.
yeah.
For the seniors.
For the seniors,
The
yeah.
class of 25.
So lots of distractions. I mean, we're
Fun distractions, though.
Yeah, but Coach Bagley wants them focused. You've got the dance. You've got the pep rally. You've got who are we picking for the court. The longer halftime. That's something to think about, too, with homecoming. The parade. So there are distractions. And what every good football coach does, and I know Coach Bagley is because he's a great football coach, put blinders on, guys. Monday through Friday, you do your dress-up day, and this is homecoming for the Seahawks of South Walton. So with Emerald Coast, the school I teach at, we had being the feeder school, we did things. So, the whole community, Monday's a dress-up day, and Tuesday you dress up like a twin, and Wednesday you dress up like a tack. That's part of being.
That's the memories that you're creating.
Yeah, a high school student. We were honored by being asked to put a note or a special saying with Vinny Villanova, and we appreciate that. Mrs. Villanova reaching out, and know who you are and who you represent was
Well,
what.
now that you bring that up, I'm going to actually read to you what I wrote to Vinny. That was placed on his locker. The moments come and go, but what last are the memories that you have created with the people that you chose to make them with. Entering your senior year, you stood tall. Your loyalty to the Raider program was never in doubt. You took the leadership role when it was most needed.
Yep.
As the season goes on, stay the course and continue to make the memories that will last a lifetime. Your future is very bright, Vinny T.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, and he's he can easily get a academic scholarship too.
That's why Columbia came calling.
Yeah, and he's got two loving parents, and not every kid is that lucky. So for all the seniors, you're right. This will be a very memorable night. But when you put the pads on, you put the jersey on, not too many more home games left. You got to make every moment count. And, the school does their job with homecoming. And what Coach Bagley will say is, now it's your job to go out and win the football game.
Well,
And,
let's go back to last Thursday night just for a little bit. The Raiders found themselves down early, 23-0 at the half. They could have folded up the chairs, loaded them on the bus, and went back home, but they didn't.
No,
They came out to play an inspired second half.
they did.
Drove the length of the field on their opening drive of the second half. Field goal was just a little bit to the left. They held Mosley scoreless in the third quarter.
Yep.
So it's 23-0 going to the fourth quarter. Mosley comes out and scores two quick touchdowns in the fourth quarter, ensuing the running clock. They could have folded up those chairs once again. They did not. Roman Marshall led the way, getting a running tack going for the Raiders there. They basically controlled the clock in the second half. And at the end, with 3 minutes to go, 3 minutes and 23 seconds to be exact, a kind of a little bit of a miracle happened for the Raiders. A ball intended for Brody Powers that just inside the 2-yard line was tipped by a Mosley Dolphin right into Brody's hands, and he tiptoed into the end zone. And Jack Byer added the extra point for the first score of the season. The Raiders could have stopped at halftime. They didn't quit. And we've seen a lot of promise last Thursday night.
Most definitely. And you got to have short memory. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. We stopped third down.
That was a game.
Runs. Oh, I agree. I mean, most definitely was.
Most definitely. So. Well, last night we revealed our players of the week and our large and small for our Wednesday night crowd. We're going to go over those real quick. Irish Bill's Panhandle Power Rankings for Week 4. The large schools, Niceville, Mosley, Tate, Choctaw, Escambia, Pace, and Pine Forest. For the small schools, Catholic, Mariana, Chipley, Jay, the big win over Baker last week, Bluntstown, Walton, and Baker. Your Irish Bills Players of the Week, your offensive player from Walton for the second time this season, Walton Braves quarterback Wells Bettenhausen. Our defensive player of the game from Booker T. Washington, B.J. Johnson. And our special teams player also from Walton, Braden Sampson. So there is our power rankings and our players of the week for week 4. So
Yes,
who's
sir.
going to step up this Friday night? The only way you can find out is listen to our shows next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Be there, and if you can't be there at Bennett C. Russell Stadium, where we'll be up on the roof.
What was that? Where are we going to be, Bob?
Well, we climbed steps.
When this old world starts getting me down and people are just too much for me to face, I climb way up to the top of the stair and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof is peaceful.
You knew I'd have that queued up.
Yeah, most definitely. If you can't be at homecoming, I mean, yeah, the weather's supposed to be nice, Bill.
It's supposed to be beautiful until next Tuesday.
Oh,
Sunshine every day through next week.
I'm tired of the
I'm tired of the rain.
I'm tired of the rain.
I'm tired of Mother Nature.
I'm tired of traffic.
But anyways,
Yeah, a long
we got a
time.
different lineup tonight. We're
Awesome.
going to have a coach. This is a special young man. Last year, Mason Baker played his last season due to injury, could not suit up anymore. Coach Bagley gave him the opportunity to be assistant coach his senior year in high school. That
Awesome.
just tells me what type of individual that Coach Bagley is. He
He's
didn't
gotta-
have to.
Most definitely, and he's seen Baker, knew what kind of kid Baker was, knew what kind of leader Baker was, knew that if Baker would wave the magic wand, he'd be out there fighting with his brothers. Great call.
So we're going to have him on first, and then we're going to go to a couple of our managers for the football team, Elizabeth Caputo and young man Jack. So I'll be interviewing Coach Baker, and you'll be interviewing Elizabeth Caputo, and Paul will bring up the rear, bringing in Mr. Jack. So that's our lineup for tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Coach Bagley messaged me this afternoon. He said, "Hey, Bill, how do you like this?" And I said, "Coach, I love the idea. We are here to recognize all participants of the Raider football program, not just the players and the coaches, but the managers. Hopefully, we maybe can be able to get one of the band members on in the near future.
Absolutely. Why not?
And because that's all part of Friday Night Lights experience at Navarre. We're a family here in the Navarre community, and we look forward to many more shows to come. But I thought it was a great idea by Coach Bagley to bring these young community leaders into our show on Wednesday night.
Great idea. It does take a village, and you see what the managers have to do. Once the game starts, they get a little bit of a break. I mean, they do have to provide water, and they do so much more behind the scenes to make a team successful and to be able to field a team.
Well, I see our two Alabama faithful are going back and forth with each other, patting each other on the back and everything over here in our chat line. Also want to welcome Mr. G. Says, let's go. Deborah Broxson and Tim Keene checking in tonight.
We love Deborah.
Two of our stalwarts that tune in every one of our broadcasts.
Deborah is just awesome.
Tim used to work our camera few years back. Other reasons have kept him away, but he has always been a follower of our show and of our Raider
Tim, you're
program.
always welcome, dude. Come on up. Watch
And,
the game with us.
There's always a spot up on the roof for you, Tim.
You betcha, man.
And but I was going to finish our first segment. When we come back, we'll have assistant coach Mason Baker as we continue Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show from Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. Seminole Bob, Irish Bill. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
To everyone who loves Culver's, the feeling is mutual. I'm Nicole from Culver's of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. And when I'm serving you a Butterburger, I'm just as happy as you are. I almost get giddy when I hear the sizzle of our fresh beef on the grill. Seeing that smile that comes from a meal made just right, some call it magic, but I like to call it love at first bite. Stop in for a cook-to-order Butterburger and let us make Culver's your happy place.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Sometimes all you need to change your life is a sign. Like an actual sign that's like above you. And no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. It's like they made beer into a place and gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, the best. Marty! You're dead weight! Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus. Let's go sports bar!
Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Grubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you. University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. A buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Joining me here for this segment, assistant coach. Is it tough getting used to being called assistant coach when you're still in high school?
It's definitely weird. I know that I'm not like officially, on payroll for coaching and stuff, but being called Coach Baker it's awesome to hear. But it's kind of unreal that I'm a senior in high school and I got kids calling me coach.
It's
awesome,
a great.
though.
Mason Baker is joining me here for the first segment. Actually, the second segment. Last year, you heard me call this young man's name a lot on special teams. Do you miss the action on the field?
Oh, I could go on for an hour with tears about how much I want to be on the field. I cannot. You probably hear my voice right now. I can't go into detail of how much I want to be on that field, but I can tell you it's something that I've been wanting to be more comfortable accepting, because it's almost unreal still to think that that's over. Yeah. But with the opportunities that Coach Bagley's given me, it's I can still be there on the field with the team. I know that I'm not with a helmet and shoulder pads on, fighting for my life out there, but still being on the field with them is, it's a blessing.
Well, you can still, from our vantage point, we can see everything. You can still see the excitement coming out of you.
This is a passion. I love football so much, but it's something about Navarre that gets me I don't know if it's because I was brought up. I've lived in Navarre my entire life, but something about Navarre football in the high school is just so special to me. It's a special place in my heart.
I don't know if you heard my story, how I got in this. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to broadcast. And I went and served 24 and a half years in the Air Force, still serving as a civilian. But 16 years ago, I got an opportunity. I was out watching one of my son's soccer matches in Pace. The guy was handing out flyers for his broadcast business. I was just getting ready to retire from the Air Force, and he goes, broadcasting? I said, yeah. I said, I've been interested. And he goes, where you live? I said, Navarre. And he goes, I need a Navarre broadcaster. I said, teach me.
It's crazy how God can just, like, literally place something in your hand without you even, like, preparing for it.
Most definitely. And what you're going through now, those players that are move on to the next level are going to experience that last game as well. My son played 4 years of Division II football between Shorter University in Georgia and also at Miles College in Birmingham, Alabama. It was tough for him to – I know what you're going through. It was tough on him to play that last game.
Yeah.
He did have 2 tryouts with the USFL, didn't get picked up. But then he realized that God has something else intended
That's right.
for him.
That's exactly what's
And he's running his own kicking camp now out in Pensacola.
Oh, that's big.
And he coaches a lot of the young kickers and punters here in the Panhandle. But your opportunity usually would wait for a year after you graduate high school. I know you probably don't like talking about the injury much, but
no, it's
what
part of
led
life.
you to this direction that you're going now?
So my freshman year, at the very end of my freshman year, I was brought up to varsity, one of the few selected, and then I guess one bad day squatting, it just tore my meniscus. It popped. I didn't know it was that serious at the time, but I went through PT, and then I went and played on it. I ran track on it without the surgery. And at the end of the sophomore year, when I was starting on special teams and all that stuff, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It would have needed the surgery. But with how far that's brought me here, like, God's going to take something away from you, but he's going to place something in your path that you wouldn't see coming, and it's going to make you a better person overall.
So was it you that approached Coach Bagley, or was it Coach Bagley came forward with this opportunity?
Well, he kind of came to me about it. He just kind of called me aside after the weight room, and he was like, so what are you trying to do? And at the time, I wasn't sure about it. I've been talking to my friends about it. I was like, I don't know if I want to be a manager. I don't know if I want to just go get a job or keep staying at my job and get more hours. But he was like, I like how you've been brought up, and I think you're a good kid. And he just like, you want to be an assistant coach or kind of help out with what we need? And I was like, hearing it was unreal because I'm like, I'm in high school, and he's offered me a position on the staff. It was unreal. And I still, I said it earlier, I still cannot believe that.
Well, I look back to the 16 years I've been broadcasting Navarre football, all the people that I've come in contact with. I've been in Navarre for 33 years now. It's a family. Our community is a family.
It's something about
Navarre. And it's special to be a part of a program. Early on this season, Navarre has been struggling, but they have a lot of turnover, especially on the offensive side of the ball. People ask me, well, why is Navarre down this year? I said, anytime you have 10 new starters on offense, you're going to struggle. But I saw a lot of positive in last week's game against Mosley, especially in the second half.
Oh,
Did you see that as well?
Yeah, so the second half was a completely different team. We were more driven as a whole because the first half, we were kind of, dragging around like, oh, here goes another hard away game. But Coach snapped us into shape at halftime, and he was like, look, we got to come together as a team, and we got to, handle our business. So our second half team was definitely a different team. But with, like you said, 10 new starters, and most of them are juniors and sophomores, it's going to be a young team that's improving every single week, and we have been.
And we've had some injuries from game one, guys recovering. But other kids, at Navarre, the motto is next man up.
Next man up.
And it doesn't matter who's out. The next person is prepared and ready to go.
Exactly. We got this corner named Jaden Jones. He's a freshman brought up and starting on varsity because one of our sophomore stars went down, and he stepped into the role. He's still learning every week, but he's stepped into those shoes, and he's doing his job very well.
He had 7 tackles last week against Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
Great games from Bryce Wheeler and Vinny Villanova last week. Andre Spence.
That's right.
That guy wears multiple hats. I'm surprised he doesn't even drive the bus home from games. But and Joshua Wilson, you can't say enough about Josh stepping up in that RB1 position last week.
And we got a lot of depth at running back too with Andre and Keegan Gilbert. I mean, they're all three of them are dogs. It's like run a wing T and we're gonna win the game. Like we got a lot of depth at running back.
I heard about Keegan before the season started, and I went out and watched your scrimmage game, and I was like, look at that guy's legs.
That's that Texas.
I think he's 15 years old. I don't think he's turned 16 yet.
No, he don't have his permit. He don't got his license. He's a 15-year-old, and he got a back like a superhero.
He is 5'10", 195 solid pounds, and just like with Connor last year, you try to tackle this guy, you're not going to take him down on the first hit.
No.
And then Andre Spence. Andre, I call him run. I told him last week on the show, I said, you run angry. You remember Coach Robinson, Johnny Robinson? Remember Coach Johnny Robinson was here for a year, a few years back. He's up at Central now coaching, starting that program out. But Johnny was the same style of runner. They run angry, and that's Andre every time he touches the ball. Now, we can just get him to stay upright. He gets going so fast that he kind of tips over.
It's because such a low center of gravity and how fast he's moving. He just kind of like topples over. It's funny, but he's still got a lot of stuff to boast about.
He does. So he was able to get back on the defensive side of the ball last week since Keegan was back healthy. And you guys are going to love Keegan Gilbert. He's only a sophomore. He's going to remind you of somebody, but he's going to be the next big thing at Navarre in the backfield.
He is the next man up. The Raider motto. He's the next man up. Next year you're going to see oh my gosh, I can't wait for next year.
And we got a game this week. Milton High. Is it going to be ironic if Coach Bagley gets his first win against his alma mater?
Against his alma mater. I think that's something that's on his mind right now, but he doesn't really talk about much. But I think that's something that he's had circled on his calendar since he got the schedule released.
Yeah, game 4, normally it'd be a district game, not this year as Milton dropped down in classification to Class 5A. But it's always a big game anytime Santa Rosa teams get together.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's a 30-minute drive, so it's kind of like the
look at Coach Walls. Coach Walls went 34-3 against Pace, Gulf Breeze, and Milton in his 12 years. And Coach Bagley wants to keep that going because if you can win Santa Rosa County, you've got a good chance of winning your district.
That's right.
But going in this Milton game, how have the guys been preparing all week for this Milton game coming up?
Each and every week we've been getting better at practice and learning. I know it kind of sounds weird, but learning how to practice correctly and like with urgency. So the coaches and I have been pushing urgency onto the players and pushing leadership and taking charge and having someone step out. Like Coach Bagley has been giving us a motto. It was take lead, follow, or get out. It's
lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Lead, follow, get out of the way. That's exactly it. So I think there's more of a drive, and I think the leaders are stepping up more because they realize that, one, this is really like no joke. This is our team. Like we can bring them up however we want to bring them up. We haven't been getting the job done in the last 3 weeks, but this is the week to do it.
One thing that I've noticed since week 1, the offensive line, 3 sophomores, a junior and a senior.
Yeah.
They've been getting better every week.
I don't know, and it's not even like it's a doubt. I mean, those are 5 dogs in the O-line. I can go on about Peyton Robinson and Zevin Jones for like
only
30
sophomores.
minutes. Only sophomores, and Peyton got some freshman play last year, and he was big. I think we were all like, that kid's a freshman. I mean, I can't imagine what he's going to look like his senior year. I mean, he has so much growing to do, and I think he's just going to be a pivotal part of the offense in a few years.
And I look forward to this Friday night as I look forward to every game broadcasting Navarre football. Like I said, this is my 16th year, and some of the coaches that I've come in contact with over the years have made my job really easy. But the talent level at Navarre over these last 16 years, from Michael Carter to the Leggett brothers, the Carter brothers, Dante and Devin Wright, some of the players that have graced our steps. I've been pretty spoiled broadcasting Navarre football.
Yeah.
But don't give up on this 24 class.
No,
they got their 3 district games ahead of them next Thursday night at Tate, then followed up with Crestview, and then we have Pace, and we've beaten Pace 14 straight times, and I know they're hungry for us.
I really don't plan on losing it this year either. I mean, Pace is – we have Go Freeze as, the classic rival, but Pace is like – it's hate. It's hate. I mean, it's a physical game every single year, and they come to play, and I think it's just going to come down to who wants it more, and I think it's going to be us.
Most definitely, but Want to thank Mason Baker for coming on the show. We'll have you on
Thank you
again
very much for having me.
We'll have you on again throughout the year, and we thank Coach Bagley for setting the lineup for tonight. He approached me this afternoon with the lineup, and I said, I love it. We're not only here to talk about the players and the coaches. We're going to have a couple managers on the show tonight. It's about our family at Navarre, and we want you to get to know every part of it. And hopefully in the future we're going to have some band members in here as well.
That'll be like widening the variety would be pretty big for broadcasting.
Most definitely. I have broadcasted football, volleyball, soccer, softball, baseball, and volleyball.
I guess all you got left is like swimming and
volleyball was the toughest.
Was it really?
Yeah, because the action is so fast.
It is. I'm watching the game right now, and it's like I don't even know. It's like
those ladies are incredible.
It's a lot of energy.
Most definitely. But thanks for coming on the show again, Mason.
Thank you again for having
We're going to head out to commercial break, and then we'll come back on with Seminole Bob. Will be introducing and interviewing Elizabeth Caputo, one of the managers at Navarre High. Thanks again, Mason.
Well, thank you, and thank you guys for tuning in. God bless.
You are listening to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. This is Irish Bill. And we're going to be heading out commercial break, and then we'll come back with Seminole Bob and Elizabeth Caputo on the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. We'll be right back, folks. Stay where you're at.
The hustle isn't named after anyone, not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The hustle is real. The hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear, you can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com, and I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track. Well, they're seeing to it that they are properly fed, have good transportation, or making sure that all Raider fans can hear all the exciting Navarre Raider football action. The Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishBillSports.com.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let our team member Sandy share how Culver's is serving up Celebration by the Scoop.
Our rich and creamy fresh frozen custard makes every day a little bit sweeter. Enjoying a handcrafted treat with all the ooey gooey toppings you love? Now that's worth celebrating.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a sweet treat to make every moment count. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Yeah. Oh.
Now you can start.
Thank you. This is Elizabeth. Sorry. Thank you, Tim. Can't hear me. This is Elizabeth, the head manager of the Navarre Raiders, and this is the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Thank you, Tim, for catching that. Tim used to do our camera work. So, needless to say, a lot of work goes into what you do.
Yes, sir, a lot does.
Yeah. Tell the folks again how you got involved.
I got involved 8th grade year. Ever since then, basically where I am now, I've seen interest in it. I like.
What class are
hands-on.
you?
25.
Class of
So this is
25.
my
So
last
you're a
year.
junior.
I'm a senior.
Oh, you're a senior?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's right. 25 is May, Bob. Wow. Our last last home game of the season, be a lot of emotions, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to live in Niceville. That's like where my brothers went.
Oh,
That's where my family
okay.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. So Elizabeth's student manager, of course. You going to go in the work field, go in the military, go to college, vocational
wanted
school? What are you going to do?
To do sports, like medicine, but I think I'm going to stick to sports management because I can just get a business degree through there and take it up farther if I wanted to.
Sports medicine, maybe?
Management.
Sports management, yeah.
Basically what I am, because I used to be the head of equipment before head management became a bigger, like, thing, but, yeah.
My daughter is at FSU. She is doing, she's a senior. She is doing recreational management at FSU. They have a department of hospitality. No, she didn't want to be a lawyer or a doctor. She wanted to get into hospitality and follow her old man because I worked for the YMCA in rec management for 30 years. So, but she's had volunteer opportunities, internships. She got to go to Super Bowl last year and work Super Bowl. She didn't get to watch the Super Bowl. She's invited this year. So, sports management. Are you looking to go into professional? Are you looking to go into, that angle, or more behind the scene in management?
Yeah, I want to take it, like, farther, like college, NFL's, like, that's a dream, obviously.
Right.
It's just going to depend on how it goes, how it begins.
Well, you've worked with two great ones. Now Coach Bagley, and before that, Coach Walls, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. During the game, what kind of things do managers do?
We have 3 that work with drone. Some do for practice, but we have a sophomore girl that does drones for varsity games. I have all my props to drone and the filming. They have a lot to do.
And it doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
All right. Just because the game's over, right? It's like going camping. You just don't leave. You've got to pack up, right?
Yeah.
Road trips are different, aren't they?
It is a lot different. The coaches help a lot with loading up the trailer because Coach Gardner has a way. He wants everything put in there. He pulls it, obviously, so he's going to want it a certain way. The coaches help a lot. The injured players help a lot, even the players that were playing. And then everyone's already drowsy by the time we get back, so it's like a slow movement when we get back to get everything unloaded.
Speaking of Niceville, was it last year? Yeah, we played at Niceville. The players got sick. Tell us what it was like, or you don't have to be too graphic because, well, maybe some people are eating.
I think people that were in the stands saw how bad it was. It was pretty bad. Like, I felt sick from watching how sick they were getting. Like someone had threw up in the field house before we left, and we came back, and that's all you smelled. It was horrible. The moms came through the weekend, and all the doors were like propped open. They're airing everything out. And I guess when they were having their coaches meeting, a possum got in the field house.
Many of the players in the Niceville game, during the game, mostly second half, I believe, and after the game, it just got a stomach bug, and it carried over into the locker room at Navarre.
Yeah, it did.
Mr. Villanova and many of the dads and moms, boosters, cleaned up the locker room. Were you there too?
I was
not the next
there.
day.
Weekends is my time to work during football season.
That had to be a story in the book that you write. It's kind of funny now, but it wasn't funny then. That's how we got Mr. Villanova. We've nicknamed him Mr. Clean. You remember, Mr. Clean? Besides having the bald head, the inside joke is he was kind of leading the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
What's your favorite subject?
I don't really know. I've always had interest in history because it's a simple subject, but you learn a lot through it on how everything started.
I'm a civics teacher, middle school civics teacher, so
Well,
I already like you.
Civics was my COVID year, so I didn't get to finish it.
What are the other kids? I mean, it's not unusual, but it's unusual for a female to be the head manager. It's awesome.
Well,
what are the other kids in school? Do they say anything? Do they?
I feel in the position I am, it gets overlooked a lot sometimes because it's you just give water, but there's a lot behind on what goes on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel awkward being the girl of it because this year we have 3 boy managers, and that's new to us because we've never really had boy managers. And they're a lot of help, but it doesn't feel awkward to be the girl in the situation.
More hands get things done faster.
Yeah.
So you want to study sports management. Do you have a college picked out, or?
I don't really know what school I want to go to. I want to look into one that I can do an internship through and do that as a job instead of that and work.
Right. Yeah, Alyssa worked at the Y here, and she was a lifeguard. She worked the front desk. So when she transferred to FSU, I said, you got to apply to intramurals. Apply to be a lifeguard, So you get into a routine in college, and work is part of it.
Yeah.
So you have some spending money, some fun money, and all. Well, we wish you nothing but the best. And you're a super young lady. You remind me of my youngest, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie graduated 2 years ago. Anne-Marie Grant graduated. Both Alyssa and Anne-Marie swam for Coach Moorer for the Navarre swim team. Elizabeth, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome to come out. And best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Senior year, homecoming. Special time?
We're just going out with some friends. Nothing too crazy.
Well, the best of luck to you and to all the other managers. This has been Elizabeth, the head manager of the Navarre High School football team. And my name is Seminole Bob Grant. Let's take a break. We're listening to the Coaches Show at Buffalo Wild Wings here in Navarre.
Irish Bill Sports broadcast of Navarre Raider football. Here's your host and the voice of Raider Nation, Irish Bill. And here come the Raiders.
It's okay because I had my mic down, so you had to fix it. I'm used to having the headset at work, so I had my mic right here.
Yeah, because Ebony texted me, she was like, I can't hear them. Why can't I hear them? And then I opened it.
You have just unlocked the door to the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound and of sight. You are moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of offense and defense. You have just crossed over into the Irish Bill Sports Zone.
Welcome to Bennett C. Russell Stadium for an Irish Bill Sports broadcast of Navarre Raider football. Here's your host and the voice of Raider Nation, Irish Bill. And here come the Raiders.
Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Grubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you. University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. A buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
Sometimes all you need to change your life is a sign. Like an actual sign that's like above you. And no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. It's like they made beer into a place and gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, the best.
Marty! You're dead weight!
Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus.
Let's go sports bar!
This is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus.
Let's go sports bar!
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Sorry I forgot to turn the volume back up during our last interview. But hopefully you enjoyed the interview with Seminole Bob and Elizabeth Caputo, one of the managers at Navarre. But now our next guest, coming into Milton week, a Milton grad. Is this going to be interesting going into this week, Coach, that you could possibly get your first win against your alma mater?
Well, if I'm being honest, we've been talking to the boys about contending against a faceless opponent and just worrying about ourselves and doing our thing, so I don't want to be hypocritical. I just want to focus on us, and I hope we go out and have a good game.
Well, let's go back to the Mosley game a little bit. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, but when you came out after halftime, you guys could have come out down 23-0 and just played the string out. But you came out, you drove the length of the field, you played a much better second half last week against Mosley.
Yes, sir, very accurate. Being honest, was a little disappointed, obviously, with the first half, just not with the score. You know, we try not to weigh too much on the outcome, but focus more on the input, and I just felt like it was a little uninspired first half, honestly. I think that was evident. We went in and had a conversation at halftime, and I was really proud of the boys, how they came out and finished the game. I think it showed a lot of character.
Most definitely. And the bus ride, you always hate taking an L on a long bus ride, but how was the bus coming back home?
It was late. I think the boys, I think they played hard, and I think they were wore out. It was a long day, long trip, so it was a pretty quiet bus ride home. It's kind of funny, me and the coaches joke around a little bit. Bus rides aren't what they used to be. Before cell phones, there was nothing but interaction with each other. The bus, especially if you won, it was a riot on the bus. Things are a little different now. Even after a win, they'll be rowdy for a couple minutes, but then I think they go to checking scores and whatever else they do. It's typically pretty chill on the way back.
Most definitely. You've had longer ones. I don't know if you remember the trip to over to Carabel, or was that before your time?
I don't know if I was a part of a Carabel game.
No, I think that was all of it, because they're now Franklin County.
Right.
So I forget who I was having that conversation with about. He said, "You think this bus trip was long? You should have went on that bus trip with us over to East Point, which is like 3.5 hours on a school bus."
That's a long ride.
But the long road trip is behind you now.
It is.
Your district schedule is still ahead of you.
Yes, sir.
After that, we'll start next week, next Thursday. But we're not going to get into that game because we have the Milton game. How have the guys been this week in preparing for the Panthers?
We've had a good week. I feel like a broken record. I think it's just kind of our culture. Throughout this whole season so far, obviously it's not started the way that we want. But we've been proud of the guys, how they come back to work every day. And this week was no different. We played some very tough opponents for the first 3 games. I think that's evident. And I think in the long run, it's going to be good for our program, especially entering to, this game, which we needed to build some confidence to go into this district run that we got ahead of us. But I think in the long run, those challenging games that we had at the beginning of the schedule, I think it's going to be a benefit for us.
Most definitely. And you also go with some of the distractions of homecoming week. I know that's hard to keep the young men focused during homecoming week as well.
It's kind of it's a thorn. As a coach, you don't want to be a fuddy-dud, and you don't want to take their enjoyment away from them. You want them to enjoy the homecoming activities, but there's definitely a lot of distractions this week. But so far, so good. I think our guys have been pretty mature about the way that they've handled it. I think that they're enjoying the festivities, I guess, if you will. But I think after school, they've done a good job of coming in and getting focused on football.
On some of our young men that were injured and missed the Mosley game, will any of them be back this week?
The Mosley game, we finished out.
Because we had Jakari Thomas was out.
Jakari is still out. I can't think of anybody that's back. Zeke is not going to be back yet. We're hoping, we don't rush those things, but we're hoping to get both of those guys back for the district play. I apologize if I'm missing anybody. I cannot think of anybody we got coming back this week that we did not have.
But last week on the show, we talked about replacing Zeke Burgess as a starter, and the freshman Jalen Jones really stepped up last.
He's a very talented young man. Obviously, there's football to be learned. That would be anybody in that position, but I think he's doing a great job absorbing the game and learning, and he's getting better every practice. So I think this has forced him into some accelerated learning, I guess you'd say.
And I really like the way that Josh Wilson and Keegan Gilbert ran the ball last week.
Yeah, we're excited about, obviously, both of them. Everybody knows Josh is a tremendous athlete and a great football player. Keegan Gilbert, we were a little gun-shy coming off his shoulder injury. That's why he probably didn't get more reps than he did. There towards the end, he got his reps, and he showed that he's ready to go. So he's taken a lot of snaps this week, and we're excited to put him in the rotation, and see what he's able to do.
I can send out a warning to the rest of the Panhandle. This kid's only a sophomore. You're going to see this young man for the next 3 years, but Josh wore him down and Keegan wore him out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a great kid. Got a lot of grit to him. He's all about business. He's our type of guy.
Most definitely. So we're got one more guest coming on the show tonight.
You're going to love him.
I love that you approached me this afternoon, and it's about recognizing all of our community here in Navarre and our football program. hopefully I'm going to get some of the band members on in the future.
That'd be great.
And but Coach Garrett Bagley, Navarre head coach in his first season, looking for that first win. Hopefully it'll be this week against Milton.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you.
It'll be just a second. We got our last interview coming up. Mr. Paul Vallon. I'm doing that on purpose. Villanova. Mr. Paul Villanova will be conducting our last interview.
There's nothing on this computer. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Paul Villanova here with Peter Manning, one of the managers of the team. I know you're nervous. This will be easy. What year are you at Navarre High?
I'm a junior.
Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
How long have you been in Navarre?
Since 2012.
So that was what grade were you in when you moved here?
First grade.
Okay. So where'd you go to elementary, primary, and
Navarre primary and intermediate.
Okay. And so what attracted you to becoming a manager?
Just the game of football got me attracted. We went to a couple games last year, the game against Catholic and Mosley. I just knew the game of football and how it works. So I got used to it, and I wanted to become a football manager just to, help the team and make sure, hype them up before games and just be there for them.
That's awesome. Now, when you came to the games last year, the Catholic was a great game. So was Mosley. Both those games were we lost one in overtime, won the other one. Did you sit in the student section?
I sat with my dad up at the top, and we watched him. And even though I was disappointed with the Catholic game last year, Mosley we won, and I felt, we had a shot. So good season last year.
That was a great game, the Mosley game. I think the final was 38-35 or
35-31, I think. So.
There you go. So you saw that attracted you to becoming the manager, and then would you approach Coach Bagley, or how did it work?
My dad reached out to Coach Bagley. He sent him an email, and about 5 seconds later, Coach Bagley called and said, we'd like to have Peter as a manager. So I feel blessed to be a part of the manager team and hope to be it next year. So.
Oh, you'll definitely be it next year. I know all the players speak very highly of you. And
they do.
What's the hardest part about being a manager?
Just the work we do. So
tell me a little bit. What is the work you do? I mean, I see you guys running around. But
before practice, we like to get all the coolers ready, the cow ready, all the water bottles ready for practice. After practice, we clean up, make sure it's all ready for the next day, and then on game days, we try to make sure we're on time, trying to get everything loaded up so we can get out and go wherever we want to go. And so. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the game day routine. You mentioned part of it, but once the game starts, you guys are locked in.
Yeah, we basically get there early enough so we can set up, make sure the cow is ready to go, charge, and make sure we're just ready to go and make sure everything's set up. And so we're ready for the game when it starts to kick off. So
now, when you say the cow, just for those who don't know, you're talking about the water cow, right?
Yeah, the water cow. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where everybody you can fill all the bottles from.
All the bottles. Yep, we have our own. Things full of ice, and we just fill up the bottles with ice, and then the cow, we fill them up with water, and then there you go. So
now, how do you guys? There's 10 managers.
About
or so?
14 of us. So
now, how do you divide it up? Like, who's gonna do what during the game?
There's a couple of us doing drone equipment and then water bottles. So I usually do water, and then a couple of others do water as well. So we got one doing drone, and then the rest of us do either equipment or water bottles and run stuff. So.
Do you ever do the drone?
No.
Somebody crashed it last year. I don't remember during a game. It crashed. I forget which game it was. But all right, so that was the hardest part. What's your favorite part about being a manager?
Friday nights. They get me hyped. Getting to watch our boys play and scoring some touchdowns and just being in the atmosphere.
There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it. Being part of Raider Nation, they're the best. So can't wait to do it again next year, and hopefully we can win a game. And
we're going to win a game this week for sure.
For sure. Milton has no shot, so I think we can, we can beat them on Friday.
I think so too. And it's hard. for a lot of the guys this year to go through.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. The first 3 games we played were really tough teams.
Yes.
I mean, Catholic, Choctaw, and Mosley are all, ranked teams, and so I just hope that do you see guys hanging their heads? Do you see guys staying positive? How do you
I basically see no energy on the sideline whatsoever. It's pretty much boring, to be kind of honest with you. So what I do, I try to hype them up, try to be like, hey, we're down so on score. It's not that big of a deal. Let's go out in the second half and just prove them wrong, score a couple touchdowns, and just be positive the rest of the game, and hopefully have a better outcome. And
I think the second half of the last game, they came out fired up. They came.
They did.
I don't know what was said at halftime, but they seemed to come out and play with a different level of energy. And
they totally did. So.
Who's the funniest player?
I would say Zeke.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Love Zeke. He hangs around my son Vinny sometimes, and he'll come over to the house. He just has me laughing. He came into the house, and he tried to hide. And I'm like, Zeke, I see you. And he's like, how do you see me? I'm like, your hair's sticking up about 4 inches above the counter. Any player, you don't have to answer this, but who's like the toughest player to work with?
I would say Andre Spence is one of them, and Vinny.
And Vinny, really? Well, how come?
I think, Vinny has that fire, and he's just really good player to watch on the field, on and off the field during practice. Funny guy. Talk to him on the sideline, say, how was your day? He says good. So trying to make sure we have that one-on-one conversation. Make sure he's locked in for Friday nights.
Not a guy that's giving you a hard time, just a guy that's working hard.
Yeah, just a guy that's working hard.
You guys have any pregame hyper superstitions that the managers do to get hyped up for a game?
Not really. I would basically listen to the music before games, or if we're on the bus traveling, get a little power nap in, listen to music, just be in that football set mode, not worry about if we're going to win, if we're going to lose, just be in that positivity mode and just worry about the outcome and how we do. And
okay. Do you know Mr. Boozer?
I do not.
So Mr. Boozer is, I think he teaches human geography, and he's also like the DJ for the school. Like he's the DJ during all the pep rallies and everything.
Yeah.
He does all the music pregame. So if if you have any requests that you want to get I think he has to get the instrumental version.
Okay.
Because he can't. Some of the lyrics are not appropriate. But
yeah.
if you ever have a request, he's the guy to see.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I asked you most of these questions. So you moved here in 2012. You were first grade.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember anything about Ohio at all?
I like their chili. They have a restaurant up there called Skyline, really popular up in Kentucky and Cincinnati. They have cinnamon in their chili, if you didn't know that.
Really?
And cocoa. So that's their secret ingredient. We go there. We used to go there after church on Sundays, sometimes on the weekends. So that's a good place to go after church, especially. So
do you make chili? Have you ever made it?
No, but my dad
recipe?
we had Cincinnati chili one night, and he actually made it something similar to what they do in Cincinnati. He made it almost identical. So he is. My dad's basically the Gordon Ramsay of the house. He's a good cook. He cooks something like Big Mac tacos. What I said, Cincinnati chili, and a couple other things. So
that's funny. I never knew who Gordon Ramsay was, and Vinny and I had to go to Vegas for a camp, and there was a Gordon Ramsay restaurant that we went to, and he showed me how crazy this guy was. So pretty funny. Well, anything you want to say about this Friday's game? Do you think it'll get us fired up, or?
I think we are going to win by at least. I would say 30-16 is my biggest prediction. So I would like to hear that cannon and hear you coming over that PA saying touchdown Raiders. So that's going to get me fired up, and hopefully we have fireworks this week. And
we will. We are going to have fireworks this week. And, Andy D's out on the beach. They gave a pizza out to any Navarre player that scores a touchdown.
Wow.
So far, it's only been – they called me after the first 2 games and said, did you forget about it? And I said, no, we haven't scored yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see if I can get a manager a pizza too. So
nice. So.
Hey, I appreciate you being on tonight. Thank
you for having me.
Peter Manning, one of the managers. Give a shout out to all the other managers. I don't know them all by name, but if you want to, do you remember?
I would say Elizabeth is my favorite. She's hardworking, very loyal, makes us all on track and make sure we're all on cue, make sure we're all on time, getting everything done. and then we got Ashlyn, pretty much the same thing, and then myself. Basically,
They're all good. They're all
yeah,
good.
Does
Elizabeth let you drive the Gator at all?
No, I don't even trust myself driving the Gator. But I was basically their one man when I went to camp over the summer with the team. I basically did a lot over the summer with them and before the season started. So over the course of the summer, I got excited to football, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna be a good season, and hopefully we can get on top and score a couple touchdowns.
The only games that matter, really, I mean, they all matter, but the district games coming up against Tate, Pace, and Crestview, we win those, we still a playoff team. So
yeah, so we still got a shot.
Well, Peter Manning, thank you very much for being on.
Thank you so much.
And Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show, we'll turn it back over to Bill Hamill. All right. Thank you, sir.
We're going to hit out for one last more commercial break, then Bob and I will bring it on home. You're watching the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show from Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. Paul Villanova finished up our last interview with Peter and did a great job. I was viewing from afar, and Peter was definitely both him. How was your interview with Elizabeth?
It's, fantastic. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
That was my fault, not yours. I forgot to turn the mic back up when I got up, so that's my bad.
We allow you to be human. Elizabeth wants to get into sports management.
Okay.
Ask her what school she didn't have any in mind, but
Florida A&M's a good one. That's where Brady got his master's
right.
program in sports management.
Yep. I had wondered maybe if she wanted to get into, athletic training. Jeez. I know Walton County had the Andrews Institute for years, and the contract, their bid kind of went high, so Walton County is choosing to bring them on as an employer, individual employees, so they're struggling to fill those athletic trainers who were so important. But, and I really, truly wasn't being sexist. It was to be a female as a head manager and to have the confidence in not only one head coach but two head coaches, is pretty special.
Most definitely, and I want to thank Coach Bagley and our three young Raiders that came on this show tonight. We're all Raiders.
That's right.
And hopefully we'll have some band members on in the future as well.
Absolutely.
Because we are a family here in Navarre. We are a community. Sports does not make our community. Our community makes our sports very good.
That's right. Mason's mom is a teacher at Navarre High School. So I know this year, and being a senior is not only special for Mason, but, also special for her. She's a reading specialist. And teaching kids to read in high school. That's so admirable. That's what she does for the district. But
that was the first chance I've ever had a chance to talk to Mason. For my first interaction was him last week over in Panama City when I had him plug in my power cord down below.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was him.
That was my first interaction with Mason, other than him hearing me call his name a lot last year during the games, especially on special teams.
Yeah.
But we had a great conversation there. Bright future for that young man. Very, very well spoken. In fact, they're all very well spoken. They came prepared for tonight's show, and it was. We're humbled to have them join us.
No kidding. And I go back to being a young camp director.
How long ago was that, Bob? We'll move on from that question.
42 years, 44 years ago at the Y and on Mayflower in Fort Walton. The day before whether I was a camp director or program director or operations manager, I ran day camps. And the employees would say, oh, gosh, you can be as prepared as you want, but I'm nervous before the first day. All right? And I said, if you weren't nervous, then maybe you're doing it for the money instead of the love of kids, because you're certainly not getting rich.
You know what?
In the child care business.
It's funny that you bring that up. Every Friday or Thursday night as I sit down to prepare for the broadcast, a lot of things going on in my head about making sure the equipment's going to – I get nervous after 16 years because I want to make sure that everything runs well and the broadcast goes well. But you're right. If you're not nervous going to anything like this, then maybe you need to move on.
Yeah, my staff would always know where to find me. Hey, Bob. I'd be in the bathroom because I have an upset stomach. So that's just being human.
Yeah.
Your nervousness is a sign that you want to do better. And so
I still make mistakes. I had one last night that we're not going to bring back up. I had one tonight. I forgot to turn the volume back up.
What? My hearing aids weren't working too well last night, Bill.
That's okay.
Yeah, you were talking about Madison County, and I was talking about. I was like we were in two different planets.
Yeah.
Talking about Blountstown. I went back and watched the replay, and I got, oh God, what a fool I was. But anyway.
we're glad that we have a great community here tuning into the game tonight. The show tonight. Tune in to Tuesday nights. We have a lot of fun on Tuesday nights over at Culver's as well. We don't have the guests on Tuesday night. It's more of a high school, college talk show. We do games, and we talk about the games coming up, do our predictions and everything. So, well, we appreciate all of you out there in our viewing audience. And let's talk a little bit about some of our former Navarre Raiders.
Let's do it.
Arizona Cardinals running back Michael Carter still on the practice squad for the Arizona Cardinals. They won this past weekend. Big 41-10 winners last weekend.
You know who took a spot on the roster?
Who's that?
Benson, running back from Florida State.
Trey Benson?
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars defensive lineman Jordan Jefferson. Still looking for his first action for the Jaguars.
Really?
Going into week 3.
That's so weird.
They're at the Bills this Monday night. I believe it's Monday night.
Yes.
Then Vegas Knights Hawks, Quentin Randolph, they've already finished their season in the Indoor Football League. He had a great year, 56 receptions, 818 yards, 15 touchdowns, 15 carries, 45 yards rushing, and 3 more touchdowns. What a great season for Quentin. And people, NFL, UFL, knock on this young man's door. This guy can flat out catch the rock. And I don't know how I don't know how he has not been invited to an NFL or UFL camp.
And he's a great locker room kid. He's a good morals, great personality. Yeah. Come on.
Temple wide receiver Dante had another big game last week. 9 catches for 99 yards and another score. In a 28-20 loss to Coastal Carolina season, 23 receptions, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he's also returns punt for the Temple Owls. He's a graduate student at Temple. Eastern Kentucky University running back Josh Carter, the youngest of the 3 Carter boys. He's a redshirt senior at Eastern Kentucky. Last week he had 19 carries. In fact, in all 3 games he's had 19 carries. 57 carries on the season for 236 yards, a touchdown, and 4 receptions for 44 yards. Doing great work for Josh Carter. McNeese State University offensive lineman Elijah Melendez, a senior as well.
Jeez.
He started in a 28-24 win over Stephen F. Austin to even their record at 2-2 on the year. Their next game up is this Saturday, a 7 o'clock game against Alcorn. Huntington College, Bailey, Houston, they had an open week last week. They'll be playing North Carolina Wesleyan this weekend at 1 o'clock kickoff Eastern time. Florida State defensive lineman Grady Kelly got some playing time last week. He had one solo tackle in a 20-12 loss to Memphis. Seminole Bob was there in the audience at
Doak Campbell.
This week they're going to be hosting California, the Golden Bears, coming up this week. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff on Saturday night. University of West Florida linebacker Devin Wright, redshirt sophomore, the younger brother of Dante Wright. Got some playing time a couple weeks ago. They had an open week this past week. They'll be back at it this week as they head over to Livingston, Alabama to play West Alabama at 6 o'clock kickoff on Saturday night. Kennesaw State offensive lineman Ethan Newman. They got a venture out to San Jose State last week. They lost 31-10, looking for their first win on the season. This week they have, actually they're off this week. Next week they have UT Martin coming to Kennesaw State.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
University of Western Michigan wide receiver Terrence Marshall still looking for his first playing time for Western Michigan. He had no stats in a 59-31 win over Bethune-Cookman this past week. They're off this week, and they'll be heading to Marshall to play the Thundering Herd next Saturday afternoon at 3:30. His twin brother Tyrell plays for West Florida. They're 1-0 on the season. They'll be at West Alabama this weekend. Maryville College quarterback Hunter Feaster and Maryville College offensive lineman Jackson Spalla still looking for their first playing time on the season. They're 1-1 on the year. And I just learned this last week that Charlie Cottrell was not going to go on. He was originally scheduled to go Birmingham Southern, but they closed their doors, so he went a different route. But he is now getting the opportunity to play for a new college here in the area, Lighthouse Christian College. He's a freshman. They're 2-0 on the season, and they won 31-12 last week over South Carolina Christian College. This week they'll be at home, a 5 o'clock kickoff on Saturday against Birmingham Prep out of Alabama. There's your former Raiders, and where are they now?
Charlie,
smart kid, played center for the Raiders last year. Let's go over to the Gulf South Conference. We saw some games this past week. The Citadel took out North Greenville 54-0. Elizabeth City State 20-0 over Erskine. Wingate over Delta State 21-7. Barton over Chowan 24-20. Texas A&M Kingsville 27. Mississippi College 7. West Alabama over Limestone 33-14. Valdosta State over Fayetteville State 34-0. And they should be getting Gulf South Conference initial play weekend coming up this weekend, Bob.
Okay.
With Valdosta State at Erskine, North Greenville at Mississippi College, and West Alabama coming over to West Florida. And then Fort Valley State and SIAC will be heading to Delta State. So you're going to take all the way from Georgia up to the northwest corner of Mississippi. That's a long haul.
Yeah.
I've done that trip. It's not a whole lot of fun.
You've done that trip after broadcasting a game.
Yeah, and then
Friday
driving back 5.5 hours after. Our Week 3 results over in the SIAC Conference. Clark Atlanta, Florida Memorial, they went to half. It was suspended at the half, 28-28, so they gave each of them a tie. Don't see that too often. It was not a conference game, so they didn't finish it. Weather creeped in. Fort Valley State over Kentucky State, 42-0. Howard University over Morehouse, 35-21. Alcorn State over Edward Waters, 38-7. Livingstone College over Allen, 23-21. Lane over Benedict, 32-27. And Central State over Savannah State, 10-3. This week's schedule, Edward Waters at Benedict, Albany State at Central State, Savannah State at Tuskegee, Clark Atlanta at Bethune-Cookman, Morehouse at Kentucky State, Lane at Miles, Fort Valley State at Delta State, and Point University at Allen.
Point?
You know where it's at?
New Jersey.
No, it's actually it's in Georgia. Actually, you get on Highway 85 like you're going past Auburn. You stay on 85 like you're going to Atlanta.
Okay.
Point University is right on the Georgia-Alabama border. It's just before you get to LaGrange. So it's off of 85. Get the point? But so
no.
What a great show.
Yeah, gosh.
One of our better shows,
Bill,
I think.
This could be an all-time winner. I mean, we did have some technical difficulties, but man,
not due to the equipment, due to your production.
No, don't worry about that.
I'm good for one a night.
What?
Blunder or saying something that I mess up. That's all goes with broadcasting.
You know I didn't hear you when I didn't win.
Yeah, but Paul was listening this morning, and he heard me. And it's like, really, Bill? I said I was hoping nobody was going to catch that. We're not going to go back and repeat it. But I want to thank all of you for staying in with the show tonight. And hopefully you enjoyed the show, our interviews with Coach Bagley and the 3 young Raiders. And look forward to big things out of all 3 of those individuals. But the biggest thing is coming up Friday night. Navarre looking for their first win. Milton looking for their first win in 24. Who's going to get that win?
Yeah,
You'll have to come out and watch on Friday night.
That's right.
Or if you can't make it to the game, irishbillsports.com on the website. Irish Bills Sports Live 944 on YouTube. We'll bring you all the live action. You can.
What are we going to hear Friday night, Paul? From you. What are we going to hear? What are we going to hear?
Touchdown Raiders!
Yeah. We want to hear a lot of that Friday
Yeah, we
night.
do.
Yeah, we do.
We're looking forward to it, and we're going to bring you the Raiders. No, win or lose, we're going to be there. Rain, sun, or winds, high winds that we had last week. Luckily, the rain stayed away, so we didn't have to hold up umbrellas this year. But we came prepared, though. We did have an awning.
We had an awning. We had a backup plan. We were going to put the table on top of our heads. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, Bill Hamill.
You're right.
When they don't stick you in the press box.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And their PA guy is definitely not as good as ours.
That's right. Well, he never called any of the Navarre players' names out, not even a number. And Paul walked up and delivered the roster to. I mean, there's no excuse. My principal's son plays for South Walton, and he said apparently South Walton may have played Mosley in a jamboree or a practice game, and he said he did the same thing.
And they won't.
Yeah, you know.
People forget that it's about the youth. It's not about us.
Yeah, when your ego's that big and you think you're getting an advantage.
What was that one saying from one of the movies? Your ego is cashing checks that your body can't
cash. Top Gun.
Yep. Well, anyways, thanks again for coming on Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Seminole Bob, Paul Villanova, Mr. Clean, a.k.a. Tom Brady, a.k.a. BC Paul.
And let's not forget who's behind us on the wall.
Yes. In fact, you keep on talking, and I'm going to adjust the camera.
Buffalo Wild Wings came on as a sponsor last year, and one of the things they wanted was an Ian Lockwood game jersey. And the Navarre Boosters, and headed up by Paul, have provided them not one but 2 Ian Lockwood jerseys.
And isn't it appropriate that right next to him was his favorite player, number 15, Tim Tebow?
Tim Tebow, yep.
So
Tim would visit him in the hospital when he went to Shands. There's a picture of Ian, I think, right near my left ear.
Yep.
And so we need all the help we can, Ian. Love you, brother.
Well, let's go back
We
to
miss you.
Ian's last game was against Milton in 2010. He scored his last two
chill bumps.
He scored his last
Chill
two
bumps.
touchdowns of his football career and of his life against the Mill Pet. They designed plays just for Ian when they got inside the 10. And he scored twice. The only two touchdowns that he scored in his Navarre career was that night against Milton in a 49-20 win for the Raiders at home.
And fittingly so, Navarre has retired his number.
The only number retired at Navarre High. And great memories. His mom and dad were over here last Wednesday night.
Yep, they had their anniversary dinner, I think.
Actually, they're making wedding plans for Ian's
that's
younger
right.
sister.
Alyssa.
Alyssa is getting married here in the next month or so.
Holy cow.
So they're making wedding plans. So congratulations to Alyssa and her upcoming marriage, her upcoming nuptials, I should say.
The word for the night is nuptials.
Nuptials. You got that one in last week, diminutive. Remember that? And we used to say that a lot. Remember when Chris DeCorte was running for the Raiders, and it's not a bad term. It's just he's undersized, tall.
But he
was a hard-nosed runner.
Oh, Lord of mercy. He had a heart.
Now he's serving his country, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of our former Raider football players are serving their country now.
Frank Willis,
lieutenant, is a 05 in the Navy, staying out Washington State. I had a talk with him a few years back. It's the history of the program is short. I mean, it's only since 1998 was their first varsity year. So this is the 26th year of full all classes varsity football for the Raiders. So very young program here in the state, but have done big things in those 26 years.
Sure have. Kelly Gillis and the Milton Panthers head down.
87.
Yeah, good.
90 to 87.
Yeah, just around the corner, make a left.
They go down yonder.
Yeah.
In a southerly wayward fashion.
Head to the water.
No horses and buggies. It's going to be yellow school buses.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Always thanks, Paul, for coming out on Wednesday night.
Great guy. Gosh almighty.
A great interview with Peter. They all did a great. In fact, everyone that has come to our show in the last 4 weeks has done a great job, and you can feel the love amongst all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, well, I mean, Coach may have hit a grand slam taking them to Munson and getting them to know one another.
Most definitely. Well, we've said enough for a Wednesday night.
Yep.
It's getting late. We both have. Well, you don't have to work tomorrow.
I'm off.
You're off tomorrow, but I have to work tomorrow. But then again, I'll be off Friday to get ready for the game Friday night. And that's where you'll find Seminole Bob and myself Friday night up on the roof at Bennett C. Russell Stadium. We'll bring you live action of Milton Panthers at Navarre Raiders football on IrishBillSports.com. Irish Bill Sports Live 944 on YouTube. And if you can't make it out the game, join us there. And give us a shout-out on the live chat, and we'll give you one right back.
Put it on your big screen TV.
Indeed.
And there's some college games, too, by the way, but we don't want them to watch.
No, you can turn those off until our game's over with.
That's right. Yeah.
So Seminole Bob, Irish Bill, signing off for Buffalo Wild Wings and Navarre. Have a great night, folks.
Good night, Navarre.